Did you know that a black man by the name of Isaac R. Johnson created and patented the bicycle frame? Born sometime during the year 1812 and returned to the Essence September the 30th, 1960. While he was not the first person to invent the bicycle frame, German inventor Carl von Drais was. Johnson, however, was the first African American to invent and patent the bicycle frame. In fact, Johnson's version is similar to the version we ride today. Johnson's version, however, was a frame which could be folded and stored in small places. It was often used while traveling and on vacation. The bicycle also came with instructions, which would describe each piece of the bicycle frame. Did you know that? Well, now you do. Peace.
Absolutely. Of course I had to come back. Duh.
We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for tuning in. This is another episode of My Quality is for Real. I am Queen MyQuality. Here I have real talks with quality people who have real purpose. And our guest today is no stranger to this show. This is her second time coming back. We're going to get into it. You know, the last time I interviewed you, I asked you if you were going to do your own show, and you was like a little apprehensive about it. But then now you got your own show. So we're going to talk about that as well. I'm going to let her introduce herself, Ms. J.W. Bella. You have the floor.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Hi. My name is J.W. Bella. I am the author of The Slip Under My Church Dress, which is a poetry book. And recently, my new book, Killing Me Silently, came out in June. I also host a show about words, creativity, and society, also called Sign My Book. When I'm not doing that, I am a teacher, and I'm also the executive director of Young DFW Writers, which is a nonprofit dedicated to helping high school kids with poetry. So that's pretty much me.
So how has everything been going with you? Like I said, it's been a minute since we had a chance to talk. This whole pandemic has, been crazy. How you been doing all of that?
I know a lot of people, whenever they talk about the pandemic, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe it happened. The pandemic was honestly probably one of the most productive times for me. I actually had a chance to finish my second book, because I'm normally overly busy with school stuff. And so it was a lot easier to finish the book then. I also had a chance to relax and to kind of reset myself. So yeah, I know everybody else may have their perspectives about COVID, but I'm actually kind of grateful for it.
Yeah, I can kind of say the same thing. It has this, good and bad, I guess bitter and sweet moments of it. But the great thing about it, it did birth a lot of businesses. A lot of people had a lot of time to sit down and just be still and focus on a lot of stuff that they've been wanting to do. So I'm glad. It's same for myself as well. A lot of, I had a lot of time to kind of just sit with myself. We don't really have a lot of time to do that. So
right.
Yeah, I can take the good with the bad. So we're gonna get right into it. For the people, we're just gonna, before we get into killing me silently. I don't know why I want to,
No, it's I made the mistake too, and I wrote the book, so don't feel bad.
But before we get into that, we're just gonna go just a little brief summary about your first book, which was a great book for the people who haven't got a chance to read that. It was a book of poems. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So The Slip Under My Church Dress was basically like me telling about the different parts of my life from the perspective of a church slip. And I don't know how many people have worn a slip when they were a kid to church, but a lot of times I had to wear it and I hated it. I felt like it kept me from being who I truly was. And so in the poetry book, I take you through the 3 different phases of my life, basically from that point of view. And I talk about my goods, my bads, my pretties, my uglies, my atrocious. It just depends on how you catch me. In order to basically say that that's helped me to become the woman that I am today. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
You had a poem in there about pride, and I told you the last time, like, that was my favorite one because I still struggle with that today. So every now and then, I may read that one because that really spoke to me. Pride is, it's our biggest And
It is.
it's our biggest downfall sometimes. So
It is. And when you're trying to figure out whether it's pride or it's just you being confident, especially us as Black women, it can be really misinterpreted. And so when I wrote that poem, I still do struggle with it, but it's constantly a daily work in progress for me to be able to improve it. And a lot of the stuff that I dealt with in the book, I'm still working on it day by day. I'm not as bad as I was before, but I mean, I'm a little bit better.
well, that's good. That's good. It's just about growth and development. We all grow and develop every day. So we're going to talk about Killing Me Silently. In this book, this is from rereading a little bit of about it. It's a fiction.
Yes, it is. Okay. It's actually my attempt at fantasy fiction. Let me put it like that.
Okay.
And it's definitely not what I expected, because I had no intention of doing a fictional book. That was not in the cards. But apparently my creativity was like, nope, you're gonna do this, and you're gonna do this now before I hurt you. So I don't like getting in the fights with my creativity. I just kind of roll with the punches wherever they may be.
That's what I was going to ask you, like, what made you transition from the Slip Up Under My Dress to now, doing a fiction book?
Well, it happened honestly because of something that happened in my personal life in 2019. Something happened, and instead of me speaking up about what happened, I just kept my mouth shut. And that honestly tends to be my way of reacting to things sometimes, because I don't like to ruffle feathers. I don't like to really get into arguments because I don't do dumb people very well. And I have a very bad anger management problem. And I know this about myself. So I just tend to, not agree, but not disagree, just stay in the middle. And so my sorority advisor from college popped into my brain. Her name is Kalita Johnson. I will never forget that. And she said, one day silence is going to be the death of you. And I was like, so what would happen if, silence actually became something that could literally hurt or kill people? And that's where I came up with the idea of the book. I wanted it to be fantasy because of the powers that one of the main characters has. And I also wanted it to be fiction, but I wanted it to be something that, if we really had magical powers and stuff happen, this probably could happen to somebody in real life. I could see it happening if necessary. So
I like it. It's different. Like I said, I read the back of it and I'm like, this isn't her typical
no, it's not.
Style.
No, this was far off the beaten path. I feel like I'm too impatient for fiction. And, with fiction, you have to plan. And so when I came up with this book, I was like, okay, creativity, where you taking me? Because I don't do this, but I guess it was like, I need to challenge you in order for you to grow. So I took the challenge.
And I think for me, it's kind of the opposite. I think that I can make up a story in my mind. I can do that better than I can being vulnerable. Like your book, the first book, it's kind of hard for me to actually like open up and be vulnerable and really tell my story. But I can make up some stuff in my head, and I can make up a fictional, fantasy book. You know what I'm saying? But that's a lot of people, I guess, are creative. Like you said, want to kind of piggyback on you saying that your creativity, you didn't let it. I'm sorry, I'm getting all tongue tied.
Take your time.
Your creativity, how you did not, you just let it flow. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that process is and how important that is to just let your creativity flow?
Yes, because I think a lot of times what we tend to do is we want to rush it. We have a lot of book companies and we have a lot of people who make it seem like creativity is just this something that pops up out of nowhere. And once it pops up, you have to do what you do with it. I can understand that point of view, but it's not necessarily something I agree with. I think that creativity is whatever it is for you, and you allow that to be what it is. And so whenever I came up with the idea for it, my creativity was like, this is not going to be a poem. This is not going to be just one page. You're going to have to actually do some work. And I didn't stop it. I think the only thing that honestly did stop it or like hindered it was probably my job as a teacher. Because when I'm a teacher, I'm engulfed in doing that. But other times, if it kept me up until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and I had to wake up at 6 to go to school, so be it. I was working on 2 hours of sleep, teaching kids. That's all I could do about
it. That's dedication and discipline.
It literally is like that. It's like I have to allow it the space to be who he or she is. Because I don't know if my creativity is gender conforming, so I say he or she, could be it, who knows. But whatever it is it wants to be, I'm gonna let it do that. And I also have to come to terms with the fact that sometimes it may not look pretty the first time I do it. And that was one of the things I had to honestly come to terms with. I always wanted my poetry or my stuff to be, I do it the first time, I'm good. Yeah, that was a lie. So one of the lessons I learned in this was that if your first draft is not going to be your last draft, and it's okay for that to happen.
Yeah, I've been working on something now for like a couple of years, and I pick it up and I put it back down. I pick it up and put it back down, and I think that I'm kind of struggling with that too. Like, I want it to be perfect the first time. So when I'm glad that you just gave me that reminder that it may not be perfect the first time. A lot of us, we really struggle with that, trying to have everything perfect, and the criticism that may come with it. We kind of try to avoid that.
Yes, that's definitely it, because we want to, but I think one of the things we have to come to terms with is that no matter what you do, there's always going to be somebody that does not like what you do. And you have to figure out who your audience is for the sake of you, because it really does help your sanity. If you know that what you write doesn't cater to old white women, then you won't be mad when an old white woman comments about what your person says. You'll figure out that your writing or your words is meant for an audience, and it's not meant for you to find that audience. It's meant for the audience to find you. And that's one of the biggest things I've learned, is that I've been amazed at some of the people who've actually read my book, and I'm like, really, you like my stuff? You don't look like the normal.
Sometimes it's like
right
the show. I'll be like, you okay, you told it, all right.
No, all right, okay, I'll be quiet. I'll leave it alone.
Right. Speaking of the show, can we talk a little bit about your podcast?
Yes.
My book, and how did that come about? Because like I said, the last time we talked, I remember asking you, and you was like, no.
Well,
I felt it. I knew it was coming.
Yeah, my book was partly your fault, because after I did your show, the studio manager at Power Play Radio Network came up to me. He's like, you should have your own show. I'm like, I don't talk to people. Like, when am I going to talk about? I'm boring. All I like doing is being at home and singing to myself in the shower. I don't do anything like that. And so then he talked to me a little bit more, and he's like, I had this idea for a show where you talk about reading and books and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, I could do that, because I'm an author. It would give me a reason to read books, and it would give me a chance to be able to network. And so that's how Sign My Book honestly came to be. It was simply my studio manager realizing that if he could tag me in the area that I like, then, which is words, creativity, and society, then I could pretty much do whatever he wants to do. And I've been very grateful that even through the pandemic, I've still been able to interview people. I've still been able to interview writers and publishers and editors and stuff like that. It's been really, really cool to be able to see so many different people and meet so many different people, especially the introvert in me screams when it happens. But I know that that ability to network and that ability to share with other people is really, really cool. So, and I only do it once a month. So my extrovert gets that one time, and then I'm done.
That's dope. And like you said, there is a lane in the market for everything. And that was something that we haven't really seen. We need that show for people like yourself and like myself who like to read and want to just get in the minds of the authors.
Right.
Publishers.
And that's
yeah.
Right. And that's what I love about the show.
That's dope. And you're still with Power Play Radio.
Yes, I still am, until they fire me, or until they fire me. That's the hope. We'll see what happens.
Shout out to Miss Trudy and Mr. Dunn. I call them.
Yes.
Since I moved out here to New York, I called them the other day and they was like, "We ain't talking to you. You just grown and you just out there by you. You ain't even called to check on us, So I gotta make sure that I stay in tune and check on them, because just like you said something like he came to you with the idea, and it's like that's something that he'll do. He'll come to you and he's like, I had this idea and it's perfect for you, and at first you'll be like, I don't see it for myself, but that's
right.
visionary. I would call him and Miss Trudy. They're definitely visionary. So shouts out
Absolutely.
to them. Shouts out to them. So where can the people find your book? Both of your books, actually.
So my books are available on Amazon. You can look up Killing Me Silently or The Slip Under My Church Dress. You can also go to my website, which is www.jwbellawrites.com. On my website, you'll find out more about me, about my books. You'll also find out about the radio show as well. And I also have merchandise that you could purchase, like t-shirts and cups and all the other fun stuff that relate to the book and stuff like that. And so, yeah.
That's dope. I kind of want to get out, and because you are a teacher, I wanted to kind of touch on the how has teaching been different during the pandemic? It's virtual, or you back in the classroom?
So we were a hybrid. You could choose to be at home or you could choose to be in class. I think one of the hurdles I had to get over is that a lot of my energy that I use as a teacher, I would get from my students. We would use a lot of activities, especially a lot of communication activities like writing quick writes or doing discussions in order for us to kind of move along what we talk about as far as the subject matter. And that was something I could not do. It was very difficult to do that virtually. I am grateful that because I'm kind of okay with electronics, that I was able to maneuver through it. I know that there were some people who were not, and some people who felt the need that they didn't need to be a part of that anymore, and I respect that. But I am looking forward to the fact that I will get to still see my kids this year. I will get a chance to decide what I liked and did not like from last year and implemented that this year. I also think it was a year of reflection for teachers. A lot of teachers had to realize that what we were doing was not effective. And so we had to pivot and adjust. And it was kind of like, I know for some teachers like myself, whenever pride comes in the way and you think you're the best thing, that you're the best teacher ever, I had to learn that I wasn't. And I had to learn that there were other things I still had a chance to learn. And so I think teaching during the pandemic really did make me a lifelong learner, because now I'm okay with learning new things, and I'm okay with attempting new strategies, and I'm hoping that works.
When do y'all start school back?
We start on August 10th. However, we are doing professional development this week. So I'll actually be at school this week preparing for next week.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck on that. Hope you have a really good school year. Do you have a wish list? Like, how
yeah, that's a great.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I made that today because I was in my class and I was like, oh, I'm missing some stuff. So like, I do have a wish. I'm about to make a wish list actually on Amazon and stuff like that to see if people will actually purchase it. But like, I just realized I need a trash can. I got one in my room, but I need another one. I even realized I need lotion, girl, in my classroom. I be ashy sometimes, and I don't want to do that to the babies. Like, I don't want them to see me like that. So like, I don't want to do that to them. Also, my kids ask for lotion sometimes because my kids use hand sanitizer like it's water. So, you're trying to write with an ashy hand and your hand dry. Woo! That's a bad combination. So yeah, I'm gonna be putting on my wish list. Like, I want lotion. I want trash cans. I want curtains in my room because my room has windows. And so I use a lot of natural light in my room, and I turn all the lights off in my room, and I have a vibe. So I want curtains so it won't be as bad. So I won't go completely blind when I'm in the classroom. But yeah, I'm gonna be putting my wish list out there soon, and hopefully people will help me with that. But we'll see.
Definitely, because I have a few teacher friends. So yeah, shoot me a wish list, and I'm gonna try to get.
Yay! I will put that on Facebook. Yeah, and trust me, I'm cheap but deep. So yeah, you don't have to worry about spending a lot on me. I'm not expensive.
It's all good. It's all good. So again, I really appreciate you. I really enjoy talking with you. You're really an inspiration. Like I said, I've been working on something for a minute and I keep putting it up and putting it down, but talking to people like yourself, authors, and it just motivates me to actually want to actually do my thing and quit procrastinating. So I don't
take your words in the world.
Yep, I don't take it for granted, that you take time out of your day to come on
Absolutely.
my show. So I always ask all of my guests this before we wrap up. Any advice that you would like to give to anybody out there who may be, like myself, wanting to write or wanting to, just do anything that you've already done, publish a book or anything like that. Any word of advice to anybody out there who may be tuning in today?
I think the biggest thing I could tell people is what was told to me, and that was that you're born artist. You just don't know who they are. And so to everybody that thinks that you do not have someone who will not benefit from your words or will not learn something from your words, that is a lie. Somebody will learn something. Somebody will appreciate it. Somebody will make you their favorite author, but they won't be able to do that until you put your words out there for people to see. And once you get past that part, it's easier. Then you're not worried about necessarily pleasing the masses. You're worried about that specific audience, and they are worried about you.
Great word of advice. Great word of advice. So again, before we wrap it up, just give them one more time. Let them know where they can find you, where they can find your book, where they can listen to the show, all of that. Give them all your information.
All the beautiful information. Well, of course, remember you can purchase my book, Killing Me Silently, on Amazon. You can also go to www.jwbellawrights.com. I am also on social media at JW Bella Wrights, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I am not responsible for whatever you see on any of those because I'm crazy. Just telling y'all this in advance. And yes, I do follow back. I am not a prude, or I don't think that highly of myself. I will always make sure to respect those who take the time out to follow me. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I do want to say thank you again, because, every time I've reached out to you, you always you reply back quick, and I was even kind of nervous this time because I'm like, she done wrote a second book. She ain't got time for me. She probably ain't gonna want to come on my little show.
Please.
But I appreciate that. I really do, because, it's some people that they just, they.
Nah, I got too many friends that are too honest for that to happen. You ain't got nothing to worry about.
Well, thank you so much. It is always an honor and a pleasure to, sit and chop it up with you. Your next, anything that you come out with, or anything that you have a platform here. I'm going to be definitely copying the book. And, I still got the first book. I open it up every now and then. There's a few poems that you just, I keep to myself because, like I said, they speak to me. So I just appreciate you for doing your work. Again, this is My Quality is for Real. I have real talks with quality people who have real purpose. And this has been another dope interview with another quality person. You have a wonderful day. This is in the future. So this is dropping today is August the 20th today, right now. So, yep. So, but I will see you later, and you have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Peace.